Good evening and welcome to the weekend edition of Primetime News. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo, live on TV1 and Shakti TV. Bringing you the news tonight, I am Joel Outkun. We start off tonight with a look at your headlines. President comments on winning over the international community. Prime Minister criticizes the conduct of several media institutions. Yet another group of opposition smashed coconut. Another group tears apart letter of disciplinary action. Kasun Jayatunga adjudged Volunteer of the Year at V Awards 2015. We start off tonight with the news from the President's diary. President Maithripala Sirisena today said that while Sri Lanka is overcoming obstacles internationally, there are some who are making baseless allegations. President Sirisena was speaking while initiating several projects under the Pibidemu Polonnaruwa District Development Drive.
The national program to provide clean drinking water in a bid to eradicate chronic kidney diseases from Sri Lanka commenced today. Under the program, 550,000 persons living in the north central, northwestern, Ua and central provinces will be provided with clean drinking water in the coming 2 years at a cost of 7,200 million rupees.
Some are making various allegations against the government. What did the United Nations Human Rights Chief say to me when he visited the country? He said that this is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. There are only a handful of such countries. He said that we governed in a proper manner during the period of 1 year and that they are pleased of it. We are not influenced. Political opponents continue to make various statements. The former president had told the newspaper recently that agreeing to the UNHRC resolution is worse than agreement that was reached in 1815 with the English and a betrayal. I'm not sure if he's making these statements after reading the Accord of 1815. Before we were elected to power, the former president used to say that they are attempting to take him and all those who engaged in the war to the war tribunal and the electric chair. I must clearly mention that it was we who saved them from it. The issues that prevailed were resolved by the new government, and we as the government will find the reasons for the war and provide the required solutions for that.
We had
a black mark internationally. I also went to Geneva with the delegations. Every year the resolutions against the country increased. We are able to remove the black mark internationally. Today the cabinet is independent. Back then we were not able to make any comment within or outside the cabinet.
The President also placed the foundation stone for the construction of a 3-story building at Walikanda Central College and also declared open the technical laboratory at the school.
And on to our developing story tonight, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, making a special statement in Badula today, said that a certain political group is trying to hinder the people-friendly endeavours undertaken by the government. The Prime Minister was speaking at the Ua Province Coordinating Committee meeting.
First, we took measures to give true representation to the women of this country by allocating 25% of the local government representation to women. Accordingly, all local government bodies will have a 25% or more female representation. If necessary, it can be increased to 100%. Then the women will have some hope that the party that they vote for will come forward for them. However, the Rajapaksa faction of the alliance started opposing this effort. They have no regard for the rights of the women. It is said that the mother is the most supreme at home. However, the Rajapaksa faction is against women. They do not need female representation. They only worry about their personal representation.
The conduct of several media institutions was subject to the Prime Minister's criticism.
During the Derana news telecast, they said that the song Danwa Budunge was sung after Independence Day.
කෑ ගහනවා වාගේ කිව්වා. හොඳ කියන්න පුළුවන්.
They have the right to praise and also criticize.
කිය තියෙනවා. ඒ කාන්තාවකට බැල්ලියක් කියලා පුළුවන් ද රූපවාහිනියෙන් කියන්නේ?
They could have also scolded anyone during the Rajapaksa regime. All of us were shouted at through the media. There are those who are used to this.
නාවක් තාම ඉන්නවා. රූපවාහිනියෝ වේවා.
The media, may it be TV or paper, it is to the people that the government that issues transmission licenses. Majority of this country's population are women.
බහුතරයක් කාන්තාවන්. ඉතින් අපි කොහොමද එහෙනම් දෙන්නේ? කාන්තාවන්ට ඔහොම බනින තැනකට බැල්ලියෝ කියන තැනකට අපිට පුළුවන් ද දෙන්න?
Can we do that? The government will not allow such persons to do low-level work using the transmission license.
අල්ලොන්ට බලු වැඩ කරන්න අපි ඉඩ දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මම මේ සමාගමේ ප්‍රධානීන්
Therefore, I am calling the heads of this organization and ask them whether they face the disciplinary inquiry. Then we will decide whether they should ask for an apology or not.
නැද්ද කියලා ඊට පස්සේ අපි තීරණය කරනවා.
Have we forgotten?
United National Front released a 5-point plan in its election policy to create a new country in 60 months, page 14. There shall be codes of ethics for parliamentarians. The agreement that was reached to form the United National Front for Good Governance between political parties, trade unions and civil organization, and it mentions a code of ethics. Number 7. There shall be codes of ethics for parliamentarians and all other elected members of the provincial councils and local bodies in accordance with international criteria. We will create a code of conduct for all the MPs in Parliament. What is the fate of the country's politics when one behaves as such in front of the Speaker in Parliament? I ask His Excellency the President and Honourable Prime Minister to bring a code of conduct into the Parliament and take strict action regarding such incidents. The most recent incident took place when the draft bill was presented to increase female representation.
නව ආණ්ඩුවක් ඇවිල්ලා දැනට අවුරුද්දකට ආසන්න වෙමින් තියෙනවා.
It has been almost a year since the new government was elected. The people only see the MPs brawling and using profanity in Parliament. The national government needs to educate the people on profanity. The government does not recall that they promised to prepare a code of conduct for MPs under the 100-day government. If the code of conduct was introduced, Parliament would not have become a centre where there would be live comedy.
විකාශනය කරන මධ්‍යස්ථානයක් බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙන මේ තත්ත්වය වලකින්න තිබුණා.
Have we forgotten?
State Minister of Defence Ruwan Wijewardene stated that circulation of information via social media platforms is at a negative level. Now, he made these remarks while speaking to reporters in Gampa. You might have seen in social media how certain people scold and threaten the Prime Minister and the President of the country. Making a death threat against the President, the leader of the nation, is not a minor issue. We should not consider them as light matters. Not just the President threatening any citizen of this country is a serious issue. We as the Defence Ministry will look into these matters. As mentioned on our headlines, a group of opposition politicians engaged in yet another religious ritual by smashing coconuts against the government. The group, including parliamentarians and provincial politicians, engaged in the program. The group marched towards the Devala. Speaking to reporters today, the JVP made a request from the new Attorney General.
අධිපතිවරයෙක් පත් වෙලා ඉන්නවා.
A new Attorney General was appointed, and his main task needs to be to look into the legality of all the agreements reached between Rakna Arakshaka Lanka and Avant-Garde under both the previous government and the current one. We understand that there were 8 such agreements. Now an investigation needs to take place. The people need to understand who actually skimmed the money of the state and what institutions were established under that. If anyone had extorted public funds, they cannot remain hidden. When some of the rogues are taken before the law, some shed crocodile tears. With or without power, no one can remain hidden from the law.
බලය තිබුණත් බලය නැතත් කාටවත් අයිතියක් නැහැ.
As mentioned on our headlines, the local government representatives of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, who were recipients of letters on disciplinary action, convened a media briefing in Thalangama today.
Things would have been different if we had worked with the UNP during the elections. We are SLF peers. Therefore, is it a violation of discipline to work towards the victory of the leader put forward by the SLFP?
Tomorrow is the 14th. All those who are against these unlawful actions will converge at a location in Kochikade with Mahinda and make requests from Mahinda Rajapaksa to come forward to create a political party and provide it with a leadership. We have clearly showcased our objection in the following manner.
අපේ විරෝධය මේ ආකාරයට පෙන්වනවායි කියන එක අපි පැහැදිලිව ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. ඉදිරියේදී අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම
We will contest the local government elections under a separate alliance which will bear the symbol of the shawl, and under that leadership. We did not do anything that violates the discipline. We will not provide answers. It needs to be the responsibility of the General Secretary of the party to determine whether it was right or wrong.
බලන එක තමයි පක්ෂ බාලකම වක්කි වෙන්න ඕනේ.
P. Harrison, the Minister of Rural Economic Affairs, while speaking at an event at the Anuradhapura District Secretariat, commented on the opposition's new alliance.
Mahinda Rajapaksa is a single individual and not a political party. If these persons think that they can move forward by building the image of Mahinda Rajapaksa, then they are simply dreaming. They will not succeed even if he comes under the symbol of the flower or a lotus flower. I believe that he can only come under the symbol of the bucket. There is nothing else that he can do. He will never know when the flower bud will fall. The people and this country will be able to witness the capabilities of President Maithripala Sirisena even if he does not make such noise. His work will be witnessed by the people.
We Awards 2015, honouring volunteers in Sri Lanka who served their nation in silence, was held at the Nelumpokana Mahinda Rajapaksa Theatre this evening. Kasun Jayatunga was awarded the Volunteer of the Year award at the gala event. We Awards is a joint initiative of Newsfirst and the United Nations volunteers.
The third edition of We Awards commenced this evening in the presence of a very distinguished gathering ranging from social workers to artists and many others.
Newsfirst wants to go out into the rural areas of Sri Lanka and give an opportunity to everyone to prove that they are indeed world class. This is what the V Awards is about. And remember, Newsfirst will also stand in between those leaders who prey on the anxieties of the downtrodden and the disenfranchised. This is why the V Awards is important to us. Remember that those who are recognized by the V Awards seek no vote and certainly not public office. They simply serve because they have understood the fundamental element in human progress, and that is that we all live for each other.
Group Director and CEO of the Capital Maharaja Organization Limited, Mohan Barara, also addressed the gathering.
If one person can impact positively the life of one person, we need 11 million volunteers in Sri Lanka. However, if one person can impact 1,000 people, we need only 22,000 volunteers. And ladies and gentlemen, we have about 25,000 you reporters who are also all volunteers. So that number is not impossible to achieve. The Capital Maharaja Organization, through its media network, connects with the whole of Sri Lanka. It would be our endeavor to inspire all 22 million Sri Lankans through the stories of those being recognized and honored today.
During the program, the finalists were recognized for their voluntary services.
Miss Victoria has been recognized by... Ladies and gentlemen,
many across Sri Lanka have shared stories because they want a humble individual to be recognized for their service and their inspiration. Volunteers are catalysts for change and key to finding sustainable solutions to development challenges. They feel the pulse, understand the challenges of their community, and they initiate innovative and work tirelessly with others to make society better. Youth are often referred to as future leaders, placing service, love, and inspiration at the center. Our V-Force, the team of youth volunteers, is a clear example of this.
We understand that volunteering makes important economic and social contributions towards a more cohesive society by building trust and reciprocity among its citizens. We have been at the forefront in leading many national campaigns to empower people and their communities. Many people, especially here in Sri Lanka, are generous volunteers. We have personally experienced this through the many initiatives we have led in times of natural disasters, like landslides, droughts, floods, and even during the tsunami, and recently the earthquake in Nepal, inviting volunteers to partner with us, where the response every time from the general public has been overwhelming. It has also been a key factor to get the government to act in many instances on these humanitarian efforts.
Voice Print, Sri Lanka's a cappella ensemble to the world, added colour to the event with a performance of one of their best tracks. More items added colour to the event. Danesh Madhuranga was adjudged the Youth Volunteer of the Year. For volunteering for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015, the award was presented to Anuradha Nilupul.
the volunteer of the...
Kasun Jayatunga was adjudged the Volunteer of the Year 2015 at We Awards 2015 this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Volunteer of the Year. Minister S.P. Lanka presenting the medal as well as a certificate to... Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, Kasun Jayatunga, the Volunteer of the Year.
මේ පළවෙනි දවස මට කියන්න දේවල් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. ඇත්තටම විනාඩියක පමණ කාලයක් තමයි අපි නිහඬව හිටියේ. ඔබලාට කිසිම දෙයක් ඇහුනේ නැහැ. මම අවුරුදු 34යි. මාස 10යි. පැය 8යි. විනාඩි 23ක කාලයක් මේ දක්වාම නිහඬවයි. මට කිසිම දෙයක් ඇහුනේ නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ ගොඩක් අත්දැකීම් මේ දක්වා මම ලැබුවා. ගොඩක් බාධක තිබුණා. ගොඩක් ලොකු අභියෝග වලට මම මුහුණ පෑවා. ඒ වගේ මම ජය ගත්තා. ඉතින් ඒ අත්දැකීම් අතුරින් මට අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා මෙන්න මේ බිහිරි ප්‍රජාව වෙනුවෙන් ඔවුන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. ඔවුන්ගේ sannivedanaට පාලමක් වෙන්න.
Welcome back to the news. Still in some local news, a multiple vehicle collision was reported this morning from Karulagaswava in Anuradhapura. One person died in the accident while 6 others who were injured were admitted to the Puttalam hospital for treatment. The cause of the accident was a lorry. A van had crashed onto the rear of a lorry and a pickup truck had then crashed onto the rear of the van. The lorry was carrying rice from Vavuniya to Colombo. It had toppled after it crashed onto a wild elephant that suddenly appeared on the road. When officer from the Karulagaswava police had arrived at the scene to conduct investigations, a speeding van had crashed onto the lorry. Our correspondent said that the van was flying from Vavuniya towards Kotanaik International Airport. A pickup truck transporting fish was also travelling behind the van, crashed onto the rear of the van. It was reported that the two police officers and the driver of the lorry who were on the road had managed to step out of the path of the pickup truck and save themselves. Elsewhere, two persons died after a motorcycle crashed onto a bus transporting garment workers in Yaklamula, Gaul. The National Road Safety Foundation says that 191 persons had lost their lives in road accidents in January alone. The Pattegama Road in Mathura, which was developed by Line Concrete, was declared open by UMP MP Buddhika Patharan today. The event took place under the program to uplift 15,000 villagers under the door-to-door, village-to-village program. You might recall that when in power, roads were built, machines were distributed from the divisional secretariat. Even there was no power, I did not stop my distribution. The next project will be selected following the recommendations. The People's Councils for the 1.5 million will be reconvened. In 3 to 4 days, I will be able to visit all the areas in the Malambara division. We will obtain the proposals from the People's Councils and implement them based on the need of the village to fulfill the aspirations of the villagers. An event to present equipment to engage in self-employment took place in Boralla today. The presentation was done by UMP Western Provincial Councillor Jayantha De Silva. We hope to provide finances to all to commence some sort of business, leaving aside party and racial differences. Especially in our area, we have a large number of low-income earners and people living in slums. We, under the government of good governance, hope to provide and help people with money for self-employment ventures. Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasa attended an event in Thalava today.
60 million rupees in financial aid was presented to 600 low-income earning families in the Kalavawa, Kakirawa, Mihintala areas under the Samatha Savana housing program.
Thank you, Bandulu
Gunawardhana is saying that the government is seeing stars after seeing the masses. Where did that happen?
But
when Bandulu Gunawardhana said that a family can survive for a month with 7,500 rupees, the people were amazed. He said that a family of 3 can survive for a month with 7,500 rupees. We would like to tell him that the government of good governance was amazed when we looked at the treasury after taking oaths on the 12th of January 2015. The treasury was empty. The previous government stepped down after emptying the entire treasury.
මහා භාණ්ඩාගාරයේ සෝදා පාළුවකට ලක් කරලයි මහා භාණ්ඩාගාරය සුද්ධ කරලයි පහුගිය රජය ගෙදර ගියේ.
Well, today is day 9 of the 12th South Asian Games. Sports First, Nadishan Meeting reports from India.
Nuwan Kumara bagged the bronze medal in the men's triathlon this morning. He clocked a time of 2 hours and 10 minutes and 38 seconds. The gold and silver medal went for the Indians. Tusida Dhamapur of Sri Lanka bagged the bronze medal in the Taekwondo event under the 54 kg weight class.
Well, according to the latest standings, India leads the point table with 155 gold medals, 84 silver and 26 bronze medals. Sri Lanka is second in the list with 25 gold medals and a total of 161 medals. Meanwhile, Pakistan is third, while Bangladesh is in fourth place. Well, with that, it's time for us to wrap up this edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for stopping by. For the news team, I'm Joel Outskun. But if you missed out any stories, please feel free to log into our website, that is www.newsfirst.lk. Take care and have yourself a great night ahead.